Hey guys, we're moving on to the second half of the chapter now, and in this half we're introducing a new equation of a line, and it's called point-slope form. Now you guys love slope-intercept form, so let's just, as a reminder, slope-intercept form is what we've been using so far, and that you guys know very well is y equals mx plus b, and that equation is awesome. But sometimes we don't have the b. We don't have the y-intercept, and then slope-intercept form doesn't really work. So we need this other one called point slope. And we're going to use this one when you have just a point and the slope, but not necessarily the b. And here's the big equation. It's y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Now, some of you might say, oh my gosh, there's no way I'm going to remember that. It's actually easier to use. So the m is still slope. Okay, so the m is still the slope. And then the x1 and the y1 are they just come from the point in the problem that are given. And then this y and this x are always going to just stay y and x. Okay, let's try one. So it's a little confusing at first, but it's really easy to use. So number one, it says write the equation in point-slope form. So we're literally going to follow this formula, but we're going to plug this stuff in. So first of all, the slope is always m. And the point is always x1, y1. Okay, so now we're just going to plug everything in. So this y is just going to stay a y. Okay, then we have a minus sign. And then we have y1, which is negative 3. Okay, and then we have an equal sign. And then we have the m, which is the slope, which in this problem is 2. And then we have a big parenthesis. X is just the letter x. And then we have a minus sign. x1 is 4. Okay, that's your answer. Now, minus a minus, if you guys want, you can make it a big plus if you want. So that is our final answer. So really easy, you're just plugging stuff into the formula. All right, let's try number 2. So this one, let's start with y minus. Y1, oh, we should label first. This is x1 and y1, and this is m. Okay, so y minus y1, so y minus 4 equals m, which is negative 2, parenthesis, x is x, minus x1 is negative 1. But again, minus a minus, people usually don't leave it like that. They make it a big plus. And that's it. That is point-slope form. Okay, let's do it off of a graph. So in order to use point-slope form, we need to figure out what the point is, and we need to figure out what the slope is. Okay, so you guys have to pick one of these points. I'm going to pick this one. It doesn't matter. So all of these answers are going to have multiple ways to write it, depending on what point you pick. So if we pick this point, it's at 1, 1. So that's going to be our x1, y1. And then the slope, we actually have to count rise over run. So it's going to be down to right 2. So down to right 2, and that reduces to negative 1. Okay, so now let's plug everything into our formula. It's going to be y minus y1. Okay, so y minus 1 equals m, which is slope, so negative 1, times x minus x1, which is 1. All right, so that's the answer, and you just leave it like that. Okay, let's try number 6. Again, in order to use point slope, we need the point and we need the slope. So this time I'm going to pick this point, and that's at 2, 6, so that's our x1, y1. And then slope, I need to count rise over run. We're going up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 over 1, 2, 3, 4. So up 6 over 4 reduces to 3 halves. And that's going to be your m. Okay, and then it's really easy. It's y minus y1, so y minus 6, equals m, which is 3 halves, times x minus x1, which is 2. And again, you leave it like that, you are done. Now, sometimes they don't even give you the slope. They give you 2 points. All right, so I'm going to use, for my point, I'm going to use the first one, 1, 3. So that's going to be my x1, y1. But what are we going to use for the slope? Right? It doesn't tell us what the slope is. So you guys have to do slope formula to find the slope first. And remember, to find the slope, you do y2 minus y1, so negative 5 minus 3 over x2 minus x1, so negative 2 minus 1. Remember that from the last chapter? So y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. If you calculate that, it's negative 8 over negative 3, which we can simplify to positive 8 over positive 3. That's m. Okay, so now let's plug everything in our formula. It's y minus y1, so 3, equals m, which is 8/3, times x minus x1, which is 1. And again, leave your answer like that. Okay, if anybody wants to watch one more, let's have number 8 be optional here. So we need a point and we need a slope. I'm going to always just pick the first point. So I'm going to use the 2, negative 7 as my x1, y1. And then slope, unfortunately, we have to calculate. It's y2 minus y1, so 10 minus negative 7 over x2 minus x1, so 1 minus 2. And if you guys calculate that, that ends up being negative 17 as your m. Okay, let's do it. So if we plug everything into the formula, it's y minus y1 equals m, which is negative 17, times x minus x1, which is 2. And you get to stop here. If you guys want the minus a minus into a big plus, that's even better, but that's it. Okay, so that is point slope formula. And we'll practice, obviously, on Monday. Thanks for watching.